Welcome to the Colorado Understanding and Using Scores webinar for Colorado parents and students. This presentation has been designed to offer the Colorado community a resource to support the preparation of our students for college and career. In the 2017-2018 school year, Colorado Public High School students will be assessed with PSAT and SAT tests. The PSAT 8-9 will be taken by Colorado Public School 9th graders and serves as a readiness baseline. The PSAT 10 will be taken by Colorado Public School 10th graders, allowing them the opportunity to check in and focus their efforts as they prepare for the SAT that will be taken by all Colorado Public School 11th graders. All three tests are aligned to Colorado academic standards and what is happening in their daily classroom instruction. The PSAT assessments are focused on the skills and knowledge that students are working on in their high school classes. Students don't need to learn additional facts or formulas in order to be successful. They don't have to worry about gaming the test. Their scores will be based only on questions they answer correctly. There's no penalty for wrong answers. The PSAT 8-9 will take our freshmen 2 hours and 25 minutes to complete, while the sophomores will spend 2 hours and 45 minutes completing the PSAT 10. The PSAT 8-9 is a preview of the content on the SAT and the PSAT 10, and it can help students practice for both assessments. The PSAT 8-9 scores and all scores in the SAT suite of assessments are accessible from the student's online College Board account. In addition, the PSAT 8-9 offers a few other benefits. If students link their College Board account with their Khan Academy account, Khan Academy will use the PSAT 8-9 scores to design a practice plan and practice questions that are tailored to each student's strength and areas for improvement. This program is completely free, and practice test questions on Khan Academy are created with College Board approval, so this is the best SAT practice available. The student's online score report links to valuable tools for college and career planning. Students can use Big Future and Roadmap to Careers to investigate their academic interests, different colleges, and career options. We'll talk a bit more about these resources at the end of the presentation. PSAT 8-9 scores are also indicators of ability to succeed in advanced coursework offered at their high school or advanced placement courses. Students can find the AP courses in which they are likely to succeed in the online reporting system. If students opt into the Student Search service, they will begin to receive information about admissions and financial aid from colleges that also participate in our program. Listed here are the posted dates for this spring's upcoming SAT suite of assessments. School districts in Colorado have selected one of the following dates, April 10th, 11th, or 12th, to administer the PSAT to their 9th and 10th graders. Our 11th graders will take the SAT on April 10th as the primary test date and April 24th as the makeup test date. So let's talk a little bit more about the SAT. The SAT consists of two sections, evidence-based reading and writing, and math. The essay is an optional component of the SAT. Colorado's 11th grade public school students will have a choice of whether to take the essay component of the test. Students that choose to take the essay will not be charged a fee. The length of the SAT is 3 hours with an added 50 minutes for the essay. The SAT is on a 400 to 1600 point score scale. The evidence-based reading and writing section and the math section are each scored on a 200 to 800 point scale. The scores for the essay section are reported separately. Score reports provide a more detailed view of student achievement and specific skills, so students know where to focus their efforts as they work to demonstrate stronger scores. The SAT asks students to apply a deep understanding of a few things shown by current research to matter most for college readiness and success. They'll find questions modeled on the best work of classroom teachers and perform task practice and challenging coursework. The SAT is centered around 8 key features. First, words and context. Many questions on the SAT suite of assessments focus on important, widely used words and phrases found in text in many different subjects. The focus of these questions is on determining the meaning or implications of these words and phrases in the context in which they're used. This is demanding but rewarding work centered on words and phrases that students use throughout their lives in high school, college, or workforce training and beyond. No longer will students use flashcards to memorize obscure words only to forget them the minute they put their test pencils down. These assessments engage students in close reading and honor the best work of their classroom. Command of evidence. When students take the evidence-based reading and writing sections of the assessments and the essay section of the SAT, they'll be asked to demonstrate their ability to interpret, synthesize, and use evidence found in a wide range of sources. These sources include informational graphics, such as tables, charts, graphs, as well as multi-paragraph passages in the areas of literature and literary nonfiction, the humanities, science, history, and social studies, and on topics about work and careers. For every passage or pair of passages students read on the reading test, at least one question asks them to decide which part of the text best supports the answer to the previous question. In other cases, students are asked to integrate the information conveyed through words and graphics in order to find the best answer to a question. Questions on the writing and language test also focus on command of evidence. Students are asked, for example, to analyze sequences of sentences or paragraphs to make sure they're logical. In other questions, students are asked to interpret graphics and to edit a portion of the accompanying passage so that it is clearly and accurately conveying the information in the graphic. Essay analyzing a source. Students will read a passage and explain how the author builds an argument to persuade an audience. Students may analyze such aspects of the passage, such as the author's use of evidence, reasoning, and stylistic and persuasive elements. This task more closely mirrors college writing assignments. The essay is designed to support high school students and teachers as they cultivate close reading, careful analysis, and clear writing. It promotes the practice of reading a wide variety of arguments and analyzing how authors do their work as writers. The essay prompt will remain consistent, only the source material, the passage the students read, will change. The essay is an optional component of the SAT, although some colleges may require it to be admitted. The SAT is the only assessment in the suite that includes the essay. The PSAT 10 and the PSAT 8-9 do not include an essay component. Math that matters most. The assessments focus in depth on 3 essential areas of math: problem solving and data analysis, heart of algebra, and passport to advanced math. Problem solving and data analysis is about being quantitatively literate. It includes using ratios, percentages, and proportional reasoning to solve problems in science, social studies, as well as career contexts. The heart of algebra focuses on the mastery of linear equations and systems, which helps students develop key powers of abstraction. Passport to Advanced Math focuses on the students' familiarity with more complex equations and the manipulation they require. Current research shows that these areas most contribute to readiness for college and career training. They're used disproportionately in a wide range of majors and careers. In addition to these areas, the SAT and PSAT 10 will include questions on other topics in math, including the portions of geometry and trigonometry that are most relevant to college and careers. Problems grounded in real-world contexts. Throughout the assessments in the suite, students will engage with questions grounded in the real world and directly related to the work performed in college and career. The evidence-based reading and writing section includes questions on literature and literary nonfiction, but it also features charts, graphs, and passages like the ones students are likely to encounter in science, social science, and other majors and careers. Students are asked to do more than correct errors. They'll need to edit and revise to improve texts from the humanities, history, social science, and career contexts. The math section features multi-step applications to solve problems in science, social science, career scenarios, and other real-life contexts. Students are presented with a scenario and then asked several questions about it. This allows students to dig into a situation, think about it, and then model it mathematically. Analysis in science, and history, social studies. When students take the assessments in the SAT suite, they are asked to apply their reading, writing, language, and math knowledge and skills to answer questions in science, history, and social studies contexts. In this way, the assessments call on the same sorts of knowledge and skills that students will use in college, in their jobs, and throughout their lives to make sense of recent discoveries, political developments, different global events, and health and environmental issues. Students will encounter challenging text and informational graphics that pertain to a wide variety of issues and topics in both the evidence-based reading and writing section as well as the math section. Questions require them to read and comprehend the text, revise the text to be consistent with the data presented in the graphics, and synthesize the information presented throughout the text and the graphics to solve problems grounded in science and social science contexts. U.S. founding documents and the Great Global Conversation. The U.S. founding documents including the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and the Federalist Papers, have been inspired by and have helped to inspire a conversation that continues to this day about the nature of civic life. Authors, speakers, and thinkers from the U.S. and around the world have broadened and deepened the conversation around very vital matters such as freedom, justice, and human dignity. Every time students take an assessment in the suite, they will encounter a passage from a text from this global conversation. In this way, the assessments will inspire a close reading of these rich, meaningful, often profound texts, not only as a way to develop valuable college and career readiness skills, but also as an opportunity to reflect on and deeply engage with issues and concerns central to informed citizenship. No penalty for guessing. The SAT suite of assessments does not deduct points for incorrect answers. Students earn points for the questions that they answered correctly. This is called rights-only scoring, and it encourages students to give the best answer they have to every question. Students, as you can see on the slide, we are looking at all of the SAT scores and score ranges. The PSAT 10 reports the same scores but does not include the essay component, and the PSAT 9 reports the same scores as well but does not include the essay scores, nor does it include the Passport to Advanced Math subscore. SAT scores reported include, at the very top, we start with a total score. This range is 400 to 1600 points and is a sum of the two section scores below. Below the total score, you see the two section scores of evidence-based reading and writing and math. The range is 200 to 800 points each. The test scores, 10 to 40 points each, consist of a reading test, a writing and language test, and a math test. The cross-test scores, 10 to 40 points as well. Items from each of the three tests contribute to these scores. The subscores, 1 to 15 points each, are specific to each test. Items from both the reading test and the writing and language test contribute to words and context and command of evidence scores. As you can see on this slide, the PSAT 8-9 and PSAT 10 score ranges vary slightly from the SAT score ranges. However, the scores, except for the subscores, are on the same vertical scale. This is actually quite helpful for both educators and students because the scores provide a gauge of how prepared a student is for the SAT. A 500 in math, for example, means that the student would be expected to also score a 500 in math if he or she took the SAT on the same day. There are no zeros to add, and the student and educator have a pretty good idea of where the student is in relation to the student's goals. Additionally, having test and cross-test scores that are also on a vertical scale provide even more information about students' strengths and weaknesses. Subscores on the SAT suite of assessments are not vertically aligned. They're on the same scale. Subscores provide even more information, allowing students to pinpoint specific areas for improvement. For example, students will know that they scored a 500 in evidence-based reading and writing, and specifically, they can see that the reading test score was stronger than the writing and language test score. And then even more specifically, the student struggled perhaps with expression of ideas, as evidenced by maybe a lower subscore in that area. Students currently have two options for accessing their scores. First, they can do it online through their College Board account, or they can review their paper score report. The best method for students to get information about all of their College Board scores and other college planning resources is to log into their College Board account. This is to help guide students through the process of finding their scores online. First, you can start by going to studentscores.collegeboard.org. Then you can click on Sign Up under the Sign-In space. It will prompt you to input your personal information under Create Your Student Account. Be careful to make sure your information, your full name, your date of birth, all of that matches what your school has on file for you. In Colorado, and for all students across the country, we take student data privacy very seriously. For Colorado public school students, creating College Board and Khan Academy accounts to take advantage of free personalized SAT practice is voluntary and optional for all of our students. Students' data are used and shared through a strict usage policy in order to support the educational success of the students and for non-commercial purposes. If you are starting the process of practicing for the SAT, you can go to collegeboard.org and complete the requested information to create your account. If you think you might already have a College Board account, but you've forgotten your login information, use the blue links under the Sign-In section to recover your information. Within a student's College Board account, you can set up the option for parents or guardians to receive information about supporting you as you prepare to apply to colleges. Once students have set up their College Board account, they will need to log in to the account to access their score information. Students should enter their username and password at studentscores.collegeboard.org. They will be redirected to their SAT Suite of Assessments score reporting portal with their most recent test showing first. If their most recent test is missing, they can use the Missing Scores link to update their personal information and provide their access code or student ID that will match their scores to their online account. Occasionally, a student is signed into their College Board account but cannot see their PSAT 10 scores. If we weren't able to link your score report or account automatically, click on Add Scores. Review your personal information for any errors and click Update if you need to revise. If it all looks correct, click Get My Scores. Then you can choose to match by your student ID number. Students will enter their SASID, their state student ID number, and click on Get My Scores. To find missing SAT scores, students should also click on Add Scores and review their personal information. Then click on Update if you need to revise, and if the information is correct, you can just click on Get My Scores. Students will also then use their state student ID number to find a match in our system. When students log into their College Board account, they'll be taken to a dashboard, an entry screen that includes their scores. It links to SAT practice, AP potential and core coursework, and information about student search service and career profiles. The first thing they'll see on the dashboard is their most recent score. The total score for the PSAT ranges from 320 to 1520. It is the sum of their math section score added to the evidence-based reading and writing section score. In the example on the slide, IMA's total score is 860 with a 380 in evidence-based reading and writing and a 480 in math. When students click View Details, they will be taken to their detailed score reports. Next to each score, students can see the range of minimum and maximum scores for each of these scores. Under their score, students can click to see their score range. When students take tests more than once, their scores may differ on each testing occasion. PSAT scores should be interpreted as ranges rather than singular points because a student's score might vary slightly if he or she had taken different versions of the test under identical conditions. This link will tell students their score range based upon their current score. Below each of the three scores, students are presented with their nationally representative sample percentile. This number is the percentile rank, or the percentage of scores that fall below the score for a student if all U.S. students in their same grade took the test. It is a norm reference group of all U.S. students in their grade, regardless of whether they typically take the PSAT, derived from a weighted research study sample. From the example on the slide, a score of 860 means that this student performed better than 41% of students nationally. The evidence-based reading and writing score is in the 29th percentile, and the math is in the 63rd percentile. Students can also see their user percentile national. The user percentile is the percentile ranking if typical U.S. test takers took the test at the same grade level. The predicted SAT score is an initial projection based on current SAT data and concordance. The projection range may include a lower score than the student earned on the PSAT 10. The projection is based on the growth of students who scored between the 10th and 90th percentiles. Students can use the predicted SAT information as motivation to continue to practice and prepare for the SAT. In the example on the slide, the student has earned a 380 on evidence-based reading and writing. This does not meet the PSAT college readiness benchmark of 460. The projected range for the SAT is shaded in blue on the second graphic below the 480 SAT college readiness benchmark. Reviewing this information can help students commit to a plan for practice as they prepare for taking the SAT. Students will see their numerical score for each section, test, and subscore. The section score graphic shows where the student's score falls on a continuum, and its color to demonstrate how the score corresponds to the grade level benchmark. There's a grade level benchmark for evidence-based reading and writing and a grade level benchmark for math. Students who meet the grade level benchmark are on track for meeting the corresponding college readiness benchmark on the SAT. For their section scores, if the score falls in the red area of the graphic, they need to strengthen their skills, meaning they are more than 1 year below the grade level benchmark. If the score falls in the yellow part of the graphic, they are approaching the benchmark, or they're below the grade level benchmark by a year or less. If the score falls in the green area of the graphic, they are on track to meet the college readiness benchmark, and they have met or exceeded their grade level benchmark. For the test scores and subscores, which are also shown on a color-coded continuum, the colors in the graphics represent relative strengths, green, weaknesses, red, and are based on typical student performance. This section is providing a review of the paper score report the students receive from their school. If students have already reviewed the online report, the information in their paper score report will be a repeat of what they saw online. On either side of your total score, the students will find their section scores. Your evidence-based reading and writing score is on the left, 430 in this example, and is the scale scored that they earned from the reading test and the writing and language test combined together. Your math score to the right of the total score, 530 in this case, is the scaled score they earned from taking the math test. Both of these section scores are on a scale of 160 to 760 on this PSAT NMSQT example, and they're added together to get the total score. On the SAT, the range for these section scores is 200 to 800. Below the evidence-based reading and writing score and below the math score, students will see where their scores fell on a graph between 160 and 760. Remember, the colors on this graph in your paper report represent the grade level benchmarks. Students who meet the grade level benchmark are on track to meet the college readiness benchmark on the SAT, like we talked about. For their section scores, if the score falls in the red area of the graphic, they need to strengthen their skills, meaning they are more than 1 year below the grade level benchmark. If the score falls in the yellow part of the graphic, they're approaching the benchmark or below the grade level benchmark by 1 year or less. And if the score falls in the green area of the graphic, they are on track for college readiness and have met or exceeded the benchmark. Test scores, cross-test scores, and subscores give students insightful information about their strengths and areas for improvement. The test scores range from 8 to 38. By reviewing the test scores, students can discover if they perform better on the reading test or the writing and language test, which combined together produce the evidence-based reading and writing section score. For example, in the sample report on this slide, the student earned a 26.5, and it is in the yellow on the math test, indicating his score is below the average score of students who met the grade level benchmark. The range for subscores is 1 through 15. 3 subscores are generated from the math section, Heart of Algebra, Problem Solving and Data Analysis, and Passport to Advanced Math. 4 subscores are generated from the evidence-based reading and writing section. Of those 4 subscores, 2 are generated from the writing and language test only, expression of ideas and standard English conventions. Command of evidence and words in context are derived from questions on both the reading test and the writing and language test. In the sample on the slide, the student is near the green on Passport to Advanced Math, but in the center yellow on Problem Solving and Data Analysis and Heart of Algebra, demonstrating his or her relative areas of strength and weakness and clarifying the areas in math in which he or she can work to improve. Cross-test scores are derived from questions related to science or history social studies on the reading test, the writing and language test, and also the math test. The score reports are intended to support students as they analyze both their strengths and areas for growth on their road to college readiness. The skills insight portion of their report gives each student information about what they likely know and can do according to their test results, based on students who had similar scores. It also provides suggestions for areas that they need to work so they can develop their knowledge and skills over time. Only a subset of their skills and suggestions are on the paper report. The full list is available by logging into their online score report. The Your Scores Next Steps section gives students more information about the knowledge and skills they have demonstrated and the knowledge and skills on which they should focus for growth. It's helpful for the students to develop plans for skill development as they review their scores with their teachers or their counselors. There are many benefits to taking the SAT provided by the Colorado Department of Education. If you need help understanding your score report, you can check out the video on sat.org/understand scores to get a tour of a score report that can help you interpret your own scores. If you're interested in comparing your SAT score to your ACT score, you can download the SAT Score Converter app. If you're ready to start practicing for another shot at the SAT in the future, you can click on the link to Khan Academy to receive a personalized practice plan. Beginning in the 2017-2018 school year, the College Board will start offering an August SAT administration, and the January administration of the assessment will no longer take place. This shift in the administration calendar will provide students with an earlier opportunity to take the SAT before they submit their college applications, and a little bit more time to focus on coursework, school activities, and college applications in the fall of their senior year. We have posted the 3-year administration calendar on our website. Score choice is optional. Student scores will not be released without the student's specific consent. Students can send their scores for free up to 9 days after their initial test date. They make this decision without knowing how they did on the SAT, but it can be a great opportunity to get your scores out to your safety schools, and if you have a good feeling about your performance, then you can choose to opt in and send them. After the window to send your scores for free has expired, you can wait until you receive your official scores back and send your score reports to higher ed institutions for $12 per report. Students that are eligible can use a fee waiver. Talk a little bit about the fee waivers. Students in 11th and 12th grades may be eligible for SAT fee waivers if they meet one of the following requirements. If they're enrolled or eligible to participate in the Federal National School Lunch Program, if their annual family income falls within an income eligibility guideline set by the USDA Food and Nutrition Service, if they are enrolled in a federal, state, or local program that aids students from lower income families, like a federal TRIO program like Upward Bound, if their family receives any sort of public assistance, if they live in federally subsidized public housing, a foster home, or are homeless, or if they are a ward of the state or an orphan. Fee waivers provide students with the ability to send their scores to 4 colleges of their choice at any time for free. They can also make up to 4 requests to have their college application fees waived. Fee waivers do not expire for students. If a student uses a fee waiver to take a national administration of the SAT, so outside of Colorado's test days in April, they will automatically have 4 college application fee waivers apply to their online College Board account. If a student does not want to take the SAT again and is ready to send their scores after they test on April 10th in 2018 here in Colorado, they can request college application fee waivers from their counselor. Counselors should be able to support all students with applying fee waivers and submitting college applications. So what are some of the next steps that you can take? If you haven't already, get started with official SAT practice on Khan Academy. It's offered to students at no cost. Students have access to thousands of official SAT test questions. They're written and reviewed by the College Board, and 8 full-length practice SAT tests. Students can access official SAT practice on a computer or by using the daily SAT practice app or the Khan Academy app on their mobile device. Khan Academy creates personalized learning plans for each student based on his or her prior test performance, and it also updates regularly as students practice on Khan Academy. It provides videos that will tutor students in the areas in which they need the most help. Once a student has created a College Board account and linked it to their Khan Academy account, they are ready to begin practicing. They can start by digging into the areas that Khan recommends first and answering some practice questions. If they want to take a practice SAT, there are 8 full-length tests released for them to use. All the work that's done in a student's SAT practice account through Khan Academy is helping to update and inform their practice plan so that they continue to focus on the skills that need the most work. To begin the linking process, students must log into their Khan Academy account or create one if they haven't done that already in the past. Students will be prompted to link their Khan Academy and College Board accounts when they log in. When students agree to link the accounts, they will be directed to collegeboard.org. When they reach collegeboard.org, they will need to sign in to their College Board account. Once they have signed into their College Board account, they will be prompted to hit send to authorize the account linking. If at any time a student wants to revoke the link, they can do so in their College Board account settings. Once you've completed these steps, you are ready to dig into your SAT practice plan. Students have multiple resources available to help them plan and prepare for college. When a student is logged into their College Board online account, they can click on the Popular Tools drop-down to link to other College Board tools within Big Future and Roadmap to Careers. The College Board developed Big Future in collaboration with parents, students, and educators to make the college planning process a little bit easier and less overwhelming. At bigfuture.org, students can use intelligent search and match tools and informative videos to find colleges that might be a good fit. They can learn how other families have paid for college, and they can create a personalized plan for college so students know what to do and when to do it. Roadmap to Careers provides a career exploration tool for students that can help them learn more about their personal interests and what kind of lights them up at their core to see how this may correspond to a future career for them. The Big Future website is pictured here, and it helps students plan for college. It's a free, comprehensive website that guides students as they prepare for, find, and enroll in colleges. At bigfuture.org, students can start with a focus on themselves, their interests, what and where they might want to study, how much financial assistance they think they'll need, and other important considerations. Then they can search for colleges and easily compare them based on factors ranging from majors to size, location, cost. There are videos to watch from real students who explain what they did to get into college and what their college experiences have been like. You can hear from educational professionals who provide the inside story on preparing for and getting into college and what they look for in a strong application. There is truly valuable help in paying for college by discovering what goes into college costs and how to find financing. There is also the ability to create a personalized plan for realizing their goals and getting into a college that meets their particular needs. Roadmap to Careers then blends all of these things together to create a personalized journey for students through people, careers, and different majors that align with their interests. It starts by looking at leaders who match the interests that the students have. These might be famous people, or they might be the glassblower down the street who just loves her job. Students watch videos of these leaders talking about their path, and they can see what education and path those leaders followed. Students can then learn about majors that align to their interests, get tangible recommendations for ways to be ready for this major, possibly through high school coursework, and see examples of leaders who have followed a similar path. Students can also learn more directly about careers that align with their interests so they know why it's worth putting in the effort in their high school classes and practicing for the SAT and going to college. It's been my pleasure to discuss the variety of resources that the College Board has to offer students and their families here in Colorado. We look forward to supporting every student in their journey to college and career. Thank you.